everyone, I'm Chantelle Cole. I'm the CEO at Dinosaur Polo Club. We're an independent game studio based in beautiful Te Whanganui Atara, Wellington, New Zealand. We're well known for our wholesome and creative workplace culture. We're very inclusive, and also our internationally award-winning and best-selling games, Mini Metro and Mini Motorways. I actually went to university thinking that I would become an animator. And 4 years later, I discovered that while I loved the final result of animating, I did not necessarily enjoy the process of getting there. So I decided to begin my career with a focus on graphic design. So from there, I went on and joined a scrappy startup in the printing industry and progressed from a customer service and graphic design role into a team leader and someone who helped look after all of our key clients. But after 7 years, where we grew the company from this scrappy little startup in a former laundromat in Aare Valley to a larger printing company with branches across the country, I felt like I had stopped learning and I needed to push myself. I ended up stepping into the role of partnerships executive at the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra. Quite the change, but I really loved it. And it was such an incredible group of people. I was really inspired by the musicians and people around me. I don't think I knew it consciously at the time, but I wanted to take the best of all the people who had inspired me through their values-based, selfless leadership and combine that with the drive to create a culture that really fostered psychological safety and valued diversity and input. And it was at this point that I was actually approached about the role at Dinosaur Polo Club. So I was up in Auckland at a concert that we were putting on, and there had been a bit of a weather event in the morning. There was a lot of fog and it had grounded all of the morning flights. That was okay. I was on an afternoon flight, so I was fine. And lo and behold, the co-founder of Dinosaur Polo Club, Robert Curry, sat down next to me. And we chatted and we connected over our shared interests and values, and we would catch up regularly for coffee in Wellington. And a few months later, I was approached to apply for the role of studio manager. And that brings us right to here, where I'm now the CEO after a couple of years at the studio.
That's perfect. It's so great. And I learned so much from you because the leadership style is so diverse in itself, because you hear especially from the West, you hear the classic, like, okay, just do it, gotta do it, stick it, but it's so, it's so great. And I'm learning from you, and every time we meet, and it always just improves it so much better. So I thank you for setting that example. No, it's great.
Oh, thank you so much. We're really lucky to exist in a place where we're not directly competing with anyone. So I find it so great that there's such a willingness to share information, share the learnings. One of the things that I find the best to ask people is what they've learned the hard way. And so many are really willing to share their experiences as they've grown their businesses over the years. And that really helps inform what I like to think of as proactive leadership, where you're looking ahead for what you and your team and your company will need long-term and trying to set that up in advance, rather than doing what we do a lot in businesses that are rapidly changing, and that's responding retroactively to that change. Yeah. And I really love that it's such a collaborative, sharing, inclusive industry. I think have the courage to get out of your comfort zone, because I think that's where true growth really lies. The seeds that we sowed yesterday give us the fruits of today, that old proverb. And if we're always sowing the same seeds, then we'll never get to experience the delight, the joy, and the wonder of something new and something that's perhaps better. I think as well, fake it till you make it, baby. Taking measured risks that require you to push yourself. So important, because you're often a lot more capable than you'd think. I believe that our minds are incredibly powerful things. And if we go into everything with solid planning, coupled with a positive approach, I think we have the ability to be a really positive influence and shape our reality. But planning is key, and being thorough in all things, making the most of the collective brain power of the wonderful people around you is also an incredibly important part of that. So I'm not one to expect that everything will be perfect. and therefore always have a plan that accounts for things maybe not quite hitting the mark. But I think positivity is a powerful thing that really encourages you to take the steps that will help you reach your goal. And that, coupled with diligence, planning, and a culture that takes into account the input of everyone around you, can get you a fair amount of the way there.
Well, listen, I am so happy that you're able to join and tell your philosophy on leadership, and I bear witness to the health of your company. Everybody seems so happy to be there, which is what you want, right? Happy people make happy things. So congratulations, and that's fantastic.
Thank you again for having me here. It's so great to hear different voices from people all across the world and across our industry. And I'm really thankful that you're giving a place for people to have their voice be shared with others.